Hello everyone, delighted to see you in Venezuela. So I take advantage of being in the center of Caracas to present a piece of equipment that I often use during my travels, and especially in urban areas like here. So you should know that this is a piece of equipment that is widely used by certain special forces in the United States and has been popularized in recent years. It's a piece of equipment that you can make your own and that you can adapt according to the circumstances and your needs. Let's get right to the presentation. Now we're going to look at the mini survival kit that I carry with me. You'll see that it's something very discreet, which can be very useful to you depending on the situation. It's the patch that I have here on the cap. What's interesting about this equipment is that you'll be able to move around in the city or in urban areas without anyone being able to detect on you any object that could generate envy. No matter what you're wearing, it will prevent you from potentially being selected as a victim. And yet, you will always have the bare minimum with you, especially when traveling. This patch, of course, you can wear it on a jacket in different ways, depending on your outfits and the circumstances. So, we're going to look at what I wear on a daily basis here. For short trips around town, I generally prefer to travel as lightly as possible here. Well, one must consider that Venezuela is still one of the most dangerous countries in South America. So you'll see that it's quite simplified, but I still have a lot of useful things on me. We will find some bills, so here, these are dollars, which will be the most useful to us. Small bills, of course, so I like to put them in the patch last, on the front so as to close the patch well, even if it will be completely scratched on the cap or on the jacket. Then I like to have 2 safety pins that can be used for lockpicking in particular. We may need to hide or need to use a vehicle. We will be able to pick basic locks like a theft deterrent or some padlocks, boat cabin locks here, for example. With some experience, it's frequently possible. Water purification tablets. Here, it's essential, of course, especially if you are led to wait a few hours without having contact, or even a few days without having contact or without having access to bottled water. So here, I have 6. It's already quite a lot. It makes 6 liters of purification. We see that it's very little bulky, so it's interesting to have a good stock anyway. So the mini secure digital card. Now, so this is very important to have it today, because you will have access to all your documents, especially when you need to disclose your identity to the authorities. You can anywhere in the world today have access to a smartphone very easily, even if you are off the network, to read all your documents. What I'm recording on the Mini Secure Digital now are the passport photos, the photo also of the visas that are in progress on the passport. That's important in relation to the authorities, the documents related to health, the medical information. I also put the different permits, the international permit. You can also have preferably coded passwords, which give you access to your email boxes or social networks, for example. You can have your bank details, the means of access, that is to say the codes in reality, to access online payment platforms. That's also interesting. Like PayPal can get you out of a rut today in almost every country in the world. The numbers and emails of your contacts or your references. I also like to add screenshots, city maps, Google captures, generally city maps or maps of the regions where I will be traveling. And then you can add whatever you want, all the documentation that is specific to you. You can add entire survival guides on a mini secure digital, for example. the compass. Very important, whether in urban or rural areas. So I advise you to have a good knowledge of the area you are in. You are, especially in terms of notable points. Thanks to the compass, you will have no problem orienting yourself if you have a good theoretical knowledge of the area you are moving around in. So a utility knife blade that will always find its use. Don't forget that it is often very easy to mount it on any log of wood. You will almost have a knife at your disposal if you do it correctly. Now we can examine what I can add depending on the situation and particularly the area where I am located. That's what I have in the bag, but feel free to add anything you think is important. That's the whole point of this system, which makes it a very versatile system. So if I'm in a forest area, I always take string, preferably natural string, vegetable like this one that will allow me to tie up. To start a fire as easily thanks to the fire steel that I'm going to have here and to the cutter blade. So here, I'm going to be able to start the fire with this. I'm going to take a wire saw, a wood saw. So this can allow me to cut a walking stick or a defense stick, even make wood, possibly a little bit of wood. So we can use it with its rings or we can use it without. Also, that's possible. The rings can also, when they are twisted, do the picking themselves. So the credit card, of course, very important, we talked about it, and the credit card, it will have the effect of stiffening the patch. So it will rather be the opportunity to wear it on the jacket. Condoms, very important. So I remind you that you have condoms in the survival boxes of the British Army. If I remember correctly, there are 2. It's made to carry water, particularly thanks to the string. You can also boil water. There are techniques for that, so the fire steel that everyone knows to start a fire. So that's it. These are the elements that I usually have in a forest area. You have complete freedom. There are no restrictions on what you can do. For the making of the patch now, so it's relatively simple. It's hook side Velcro, obviously, which is sewn behind the patch. The only important thing to know is that the 2 Velcro strips must not be the same size. There needs to be one thin and one wide, especially for inserting the credit card. If you have the opening strictly in the axis of the patch, you will not be able to insert the credit card because it is too rigid. Whereas with this technique, you can do it very easily. So the real benefit of equipping yourself with a patch like this is that once conditioned for a drone zone, you will have a compact kit. So we don't change jackets or hats every day. As a result, you will never forget it when you go out, even if you have to leave in a hurry. Moreover, you can quickly move the patch from the hat to the jacket or vice versa. Finally, it's a little-known system which has a real advantage in the field. There you have it. You now know this new little secret that I haven't often shared for obvious reasons of discretion. So, if I'm sharing it with you today, it's because I think you'll have plenty of time to use it before the information has made its way around the planet. Personally, I continue to wear it, and you'll see that it's a piece of equipment that one adopts very, very quickly. I'll see you soon. We'll meet again in a future video.